Hey folks, and welcome back to the channel. HappyCattyCrypto here, and we're just diving straight into it today. Parity is almost upon us. It's the 13th today. That is all rolling out tomorrow throughout the course of the day. The specific block height is mentioned here. You can find the current block height on LUNC. We'll be heading over to that website during the end of this video. But we're speaking a lot about Parity here and the kind of milestones we've achieved to get to this point, and we've had to push through a lot of FUD, a lot of people that simply just don't want to see any development in the LUNC sector. There's a lot of limelight to take in the cosmos, and so many people are after that position. And if not, so much blockchains that are after that position, there's so many people that have plans to repeg USTC, and those plans were denied time and time again. Seeing those characters come out of the woodwork all of a sudden, it's, this whole kind of sniffing around an idea that was more or less something that you wanted to do, but it wasn't actually ever more or less accepted by the community. And we know exactly why. It was always to do with people trying to either privatize USTC or wanting to mint a buttload of coins and just make the situation worse than it actually is. With everything that's going on, once we reach parity, it's kind of going to be, we've got all of these different things that we can do with LUNC, like all of the off ramps, the on ramps, all of those different kind of small little things, and the smart tax and those kind of things. But ultimately, the main specific goal is to burn the supply and raise the price. And USTC is going to take us there, but ultimately we do need to get through parity first. But there's been a few things, like I was saying, that really we should take note of, and we should understand that it is positive, but at the same time, a lot of coins have been accumulated by validators, and those coins were accumulated in a time when there was only 60 active validators. And we see this across board. We see that a lot of these validators, especially from the old guard, have got vast amounts of coins that they've accumulated through those stages. So it's an absolute no-brainer to sit there and think to yourself, that's why a lot of people's treasuries are so high, and that's why certain projects can almost do a public rug pull and still hold a decent amount of voting power. It is absolutely insane, and it becomes very obvious at this point. But looking really good on the bonded side of things. So we've got over 1 trillion coins bonded. This is really good because this is locked in liquidity. It's never ever going to be like... You could have a flash unbonding phase, and we've seen these happen time and time again with all of the different things that have happened in public with people. Instead of just having a person-to-person conversation like adults, they would rather have a bickering match and sort of weigh who's the bigger person out in public and let everybody see what's going on, and it just looks very unprofessional. With this bonding thing, we need milestones like this. We need to always pay attention and understand that this is a positive thing overall, even with the vast amounts of coins that are hoarded by certain, projects, validators, nodes, whatever. It's good. Those coins are locked up. They are not going to be able to be dumped onto the market. The more coins locked up, the better. It's like temporarily burning the supply, because these are then not counted in the circulating supply. They're actually removed. They're only part of the total supply at that point. So it's like a temporary burn. And also these coins are producing liquidity, which gets unlocked from the Oracle rewards pool, which leads to a liquidity loop going through the system. So it's all good for business at the end of the day, regardless of the situation surrounding it, or looking into the deeper sides of it and kind of playing the good actor, bad actor kind of thing. It's a really positive note for us. We're just over a year, and when I say this, we are literally just over a year old now into this whole thing. And having 1 trillion coins bonded after the whole system's been through a meltdown, and then trying to find our feet and really figure out who we are as a community, and who's going to play the roles of bringing us to where we need to get to. It just seems like everything's beginning to align, and this is the whole thing with USTC at the moment. There's so much on the line with USTC, and there's a lot of people that have got their hope set into this, and I think there's a huge focus on CEXs with this whole USTC repeg, but I think people need to understand, especially the people that are creating the repeg and going through that incremental system is we are DeFi. Okay, we are a decentralized environment. We were one of the leading aspects of it, and we definitely were the centerpiece of it all before, because we held the only algorithmic stablecoin in the sector. If we manage to do this again, it's going to be pretty insane. And I don't think anyone can really carve out that kind of road or predict what would actually happen to our blockchain if we did manage to pull this repeg off. So there's a lot to take in as we lead into parity, as we lead up to that block height. So like I was saying, you can see the block height on the I'm sure you can see it on the, so you can see it on the dashboard here on the ticker section. So you can keep an eye on that. You can see the exact block when it's going to land. You may see all sorts of funny things happen. What everybody needs to understand is the second that update goes live for at least an hour, we're going to be in maintenance mode. The team themselves are going to be doing a lot throughout the course of a day today, and then I believe the course of a day tomorrow. We're going to have this proposal pass in specifically 11 hours. Everything's looking good. Everything's looking positive. Everybody seems to have everything where they need it. The people that I've spoken to are going to be making adjustments for these updates, smart contracts, moving up to V4 smart contracts and things like that. It seems all the bases are covered. We literally just need to knock on wood and hope and pray that this all goes off without a hitch, because if it does, it's going to show the strength of the current team that we're paying. And this is something with the USTC repeg as well, is that we're actually paying the L1 team to fulfill what we pass via governance. So we want to see the USTC team utilize the system in the same manner that the L1 team does. But what we don't want to see is that centralization of everyone kind of being under one banner. And if you listen to my video yesterday, I speak about it being under one banner, but not. It's like having departments, and realistically what you need is a project manager for each department. So we're going to need a quant team to pull this off. You're going to need a project manager for that quant team, because you can't have the L1 project manager trying to manage a repeg that they haven't created and don't fully understand. So it's, you've got to draw the line and you've got to try and keep things as decentralized as possible, but ultimately working towards that one unique goal. Because if, for example, I think this is the best way to create an analogy in a lot of people's minds, is if, say, you work for a car company, BMW, and you work in the engines department, you're not going to be sent to manage the people in the ECU braking department. Okay, you're specifically going to be there to manage the engine section of things, and the person working in the ECU department is going to specialize in, managing that sector. But ultimately, you're all building the same car and driving towards that same ultimate goal. And I think that's where you can keep things as decentralized as possible, because it's very hard to avoid. If you look at any coins in the DeFi sector, they all have a leading team that are driving development and doing different things. Yes, they have validators, and everything ultimately comes down to vote, and that's where the DeFi thing comes into it. So what I think we're likely to see probably after this upgrade proposal is the creation of another team, which would be the quant team, which we need. We definitely need someone who's actually specifically qualified for this to join the team. There's a lots of ins and outs to go through, and I think we're going to be getting an update at some point from Redline. I've been keeping up with his tweets and just seeing what he's been saying, and it sounds like they've got something to update us with, and they are in talks with CXs. So really looking forward to Parity, really looking forward to everything that's going on. Really happy to see over 1 trillion coins bonded into the situation that we're all part of. It affects us all, and it's just really, really positive. Even the burning, I think, is pushed past 60 billion burnt. For me, that's really good, because we're such a tiny community and we started from something that was just a shattered piece of glass on the floor. I think we're doing great. Let me know how you folks are feeling. Let me know in the comment section. Other than that, that's all I've got for you today, folks. I think I'm going to start toning it down a little bit and maybe doing just simply 1 video a day or 1 video every other day, something like that. Let me know what you feel about that in the comment section, folks. Stay safe, stay humble, stay aware, beware of scammers, beware of doppelgangers, beware of anyone pretending to be me. None of this is financial advice, and I'll catch you in the next one.